And I didn't really, I don't know, I didn't like the decision that Triple H surprised, put the belt on himself again. You know, it just seemed like, I don't know, it just showed a real lack of imagination, if you ask me. Yeah, I'd be really surprised if WrestleMania this year isn't the biggest bomb they've ever had. I thought the lead into it, if it's Triple H at WrestleMania, you know, you're going to see that Triple H is not, he's not the great wrestler that he thinks he is. You know, he's always been a medium quality wrestler, and he pushes himself like he's the greatest wrestler of all time. And I don't know, for me personally, and I have no issues with the guy, but I just go, my God, you know, they're really going to pin everything on him again when he delivers that 4 out of 10 match, that nothing special match. You know, the thing about guys like Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens and you know, CM Punk is that they were great wrestlers. They were really special. They still are, you know.
Yeah.
And they deliver these really special matches with special, you know, this real, they give it all, they leave everything on the field kind of thing. You know, they leave everything in there, and they work so hard to tell a story with their bodies. You know, it's just so great. And you can make storylines and create storylines like Triple H is going to be doing. And you know what? The problem is that he can't wrestle. He's not going to deliver anything that's of any real special, like where it's like, oh, he could be. Like, I can already tell you right now, whoever he wrestles, it's going to be a so-so match.
Wow.
There'll be chairs. He'll go into the tables. He'll do everything he can to get a reaction. And that's it. As far as the wrestling goes, he's got really limited skills. You know, he's really not that good. I'm not saying he's the worst wrestler or anything like that, but he's very mediocre. They can just destroy guys, and you know, it just doesn't make any sense. It actually hurts the credibility of the industry, I think, after a while, where Stephanie McMahon and Vince McMahon and Triple H can just do whatever they want and do it right in front of the fans. And then at the same time, they're at WrestleMania, thanking everybody and for the Make-A-Wish. You know, it's like they want to be good guys. They want to be bad guys. They want to be corrupt 1 minute and evil the next minute, and they want to be loved a minute later. It's just, I don't know. You know, I like the old days when it was black and white. You had good guys, you had bad guys. It's a wash. Nobody can be a bad guy anymore. Nobody can be a good guy anymore just because of their lack of understanding what those things were in the first place. Isn't it kind of convenient that Triple H came out number 30, like, and Brock Lesnar comes out number 27. It just seems like, are they really pretending that it's random, or is it just somebody going, okay, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to build into it this way. And there was no real suspense to any of it. And I don't know. I just found they sent out guys basically to do all the work. And at the very end, all the guys that got all the glory were guys that, I don't know, just seemed really staged. And like it was put together by Triple H, and you know, I wasn't impressed. Very rarely am I impressed with anything that he thinks out, because he's really just not a very smart guy when it comes to really thinking out wrestling. I believe Vince is pretty smart, but I think he's handing over the reins more and more to Triple H and Stephanie, who has little or no wrestling background either. And the two of them are starting to show that they don't know what they're doing, in my opinion. Like when you ask me what's wrong with Roman Reigns, it's like, you know, he doesn't seem to get anyone to feel sorry for him. It's almost like he's been turned into a Triple H type of wrestler. I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way, but I mean, like, he's got the long hair and he really never sells anything. Triple H was kind of the same way. He can't get sympathy. I don't know that was he ever a babyface Triple H? I mean, I don't know. You know, I've always said, you know, years ago, I said that WWE is they became sort of WCW in the sense that they hired guys that had no ability to like the experts, the guys in the backstage area that are going, okay, we're going to do this, this, and this. They're all guys that never drew any money. They're not guys like Roddy Piper. I would have hired Roddy Piper. I would have hired Bret Hart. I would have hired guys that were that drew money in wrestling and had great psychology. Even Shawn Michaels, different Steve Austin, guys that drew money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, guys that made money and know how to build a match, know how to tell a story, know how to sort of pace things. And you know, instead they hired all kinds. I'm not going to name names, but they got all kinds of guys that were wrestlers on the card. They never drew money. They never thought of anything in their lives. They never created anything. And they're in there in the dressing room telling these guys what to do. And that's the problem with wrestling, is that there's no genius anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The genius has all been sort of told to go home. We don't need you, and we'll figure it out. We don't need you. Like, they got Vince as the genius. And I think Vince is a genius, but I don't know if he's got enough input in every match, or whether he's just getting tired, or whether he's getting old. But I feel like there was very little genius on that show last night. And the Raws, I haven't watched Raw much other than sort of just clicking through the channels. And usually when they get into a big long promo, I switch channels and watch hockey or something where I can get some bang for my buck. And I feel bad saying that. I love wrestling. But it's not doing the trick for me. And the guys that are calling the shots don't know what they're doing. And the wrestlers that are really talented, there's lots of really talented wrestlers just spinning their tires there. You know, and I don't think it made any difference. It got a big pop the first night, but you know, it's the same old thing. It's like Triple H and Stephanie. You know, they want to be the bad guys and the evil authority and the wicked evil promoters. And then they're at WrestleMania praising, and they're getting an award or giving awards for Make-A-Wish, and they want to be the good guys now. They want to be the heroes of the company and put all the. I think that the same thing with Vince. He's the evil promoter, but then he walks out and they cheer him, and he goes into his shtick and kind of does his whole evil. I'm an evil promoter, and everyone's cheering him, and it doesn't mean anything. It's like you can't be both.
Yeah.
You know, when you're both, like Paul Heyman. They hate him. Mm-hmm. You know, he is the heel manager of the business today. And almost anything that he touches or anybody that he manages or anything he says, they're going to boo him. They hate him.
Yeah.
And that's what you need. You need someone that can keep heat. And when you start, you know, like, you can't have it both ways. You can't be the heroes of the company and the villains of the company at the exact same time. You know, you want to give yourself a pat on the back for Make-A-Wish Foundation and all this stuff. Then quit trying to be the heels of the company at the same time.
Yeah.
I think there's a real forethought again of someone that, you know, if you look at Triple H even years ago, he's never understood, like when he did that whole thing with the Clique where they all hated each other and then they all hugged each other at the Garden and they all got up on the top rope and second rope and did the Clique sign to the crowd and they all hugged each other in the middle of the ring and all that. It's the same thing. It's like, you know what, they just don't understand that, you know, wrestling fans want to believe it's real. They want to believe you're a bad guy. When they invest their time and energy into you being a bad guy, and then you go ahead and do something that makes you a good guy, it doesn't, you may go, oh, the fans all know what's going on and all. It's just stupid. It's like really the wrong way to go.
Yeah.
You know, you either got to be a good guy or you got to be a bad guy.